Hello, what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time we're going to be talking about the stuff that was recently revealed during a HasbroPULSE live stream. We've got a lot to talk about, and a lot of it is actual reveals this time around. Now, for the Studio Series stuff, we knew what was going to be shown, but only because of listings previously and the fact that they actually talked about what they were going to show. We did see that Bumblebee, but it was more like, I want to say an hour before the actual live stream itself, and then we did see Steeljaw a day before. I want to update that the speaker that's included with Steeljaw can be plugged over the hand of blaster, so if you don't want to use that for anything else with Steeljaw, there you go, and I thought that was awesome. But we're not going to focus on Steeljaw in this video because we talked about it previously. In this, we're going to focus on the Studio Series stuff, as well as the comic universe figure that they showed off, and then we're also going to talk about what they're likely going to show in the next stream, because they revealed a whole bunch of stuff that they're planning. So let's go ahead and start off with the Infantry, also known as the Decepticon Soldier. That's what they're titling this. And we actually knew that we were going to get the Infantry for quite a while. I mean, there was listings for this for probably a year. I think it was before any of the Gamer Edition stuff actually got leaked out and, you know, got fully revealed. It was just a bunch of names that were listed that we were kind of confused by because, oh, War for Cybertron, that seems kind of weird that they're bringing that back. But this Infantry, I always knew that it was going to be a remold of the Barricade, and that's what it is. So it's going to take the Deluxe class Barricade, which I've often said is probably the worst Studio Series War for Cybertron toy they've made thus far. It's just too clunky, too big, and all the joints aren't really up to par with what they should be. However, the Infantry has my hopes up because it seems like they re-engineered it enough to where they fixed most of the problems. Now, starting off with the alt mode, I understand if some people aren't into this. It looks like just a gray car with some mossy metallic green, and it doesn't necessarily flow, especially with the purple. It just, I don't know, it seems like the purple should show up more than the green, or maybe the gray should be a darker color. I don't necessarily mind because it kind of reminds me of some of the Halo vehicles, but yeah, I understand it. It does seem that most of the shell is new compared to Barricade. Even the back of the car, because you can see the 360 video, is completely different. And it doesn't have the spikes on the front. It even has new tires, but the gun on top is the exact same that comes from Barricade. It will have the same transformation, so nothing really too new except for the actual parts themselves, but they pretty much do the same thing as the Barricade. Anyways, moving on, we can take a look at the robot mode, and I like it. You know, it's just a generic drone Decepticon that's meant to be from the game, and I think it's fine. The legs are a little clunky. You know, it seems like they're more chunky compared to the original Deluxe Barricade, but you gotta realize that the wheel wells are placed at the bottom of the legs rather than on the side of the hips. But even then, when you take a look at the back kibble of the leg, it seems much bigger, much wider, but I don't mind necessarily. It seems like you will be able to bend the knee further compared to Barricade because it seems like the panel doesn't reach that high up. Also, another thing is that there's no panel over top of the hand, so you'll be able to rotate that freely. And it seems like the elbow joint will be able to bend further because it seems like it's placed more forward from the parts, so that allows for more freedom of movement. I do like the head sculpt. I think the green and the gray works a little bit better for the robot mode. I would like to see this in maybe purple or even blue, but I don't think the green looks too bad here. I like it because it stands out. Anyways, moving on, we can take a look at Bumblebee. So this is going to be what they call an A-level figure. So this is going to have kind of a short run right now, but later on, it's just going to stay on the shelf. So this isn't part of a particular wave. This is kind of like a solo figure, kind of like the Origins Bumblebee or something along the lines of that. I'm not sure if it's exclusive, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It's just something that's going to be here for a while. But this Bumblebee still has the similar Volkswagen design. You can see that with the headlights in the front of the car, but it's meant to represent more of that penny racer, and this is a Studio Series 86 figure, so it's meant to replicate any frame that was seen during the 1986 film. One thing that I do like is that the gun will be able to plug on the back. I would like to plug that underneath or as some sort of exhaust, but at least, you know, there's storage and it's not a big gun, so it doesn't interrupt anything. It does have black windows, and I like how squared the top of it is. Even if the front is rounded off, I think because it's so quick with its shape that nothing really disrupts anything. I love how the back wheels are so much bigger than the front. It definitely reminds me of that old Penny Racer toy. And then we take a look at the robot mode, and he just looks super clean. I mean, first of all, the backpack will be able to transform with the figure. You don't have to pop that off, so that's good. The gun, laser rifle looks fine. I love the head sculpt. I love the shape of the torso, the front of the car. I love the fact that they even acknowledge that the Autobot symbol that's placed on the hood will be able to disappear. And that's mostly just because the legs have to fit in place. But I do like the fact that they were able to acknowledge that, hey, there's an Autobot symbol that's meant to be there. Let's go ahead and hide that away. It does seem like he's got hollow arms on the side here, but considering how small he's going to be, and he is going to be very small, I don't necessarily mind. Now, for those hesitant because he's going to be super small, I will say that it seems like the engineering is going to be really good. I think it said that there's going to be 27 points of... or 27 steps in his transformation. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what it said. Anyways, there's going to be a lot of steps. So I think that there's a lot going on with the figure that you might not realize from this look. But yeah, I think it looks fine. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to Skywarp. Now, some of the images make him look a little different. This image in particular makes the purple look so vibrant, and then the light gray look a little too bright. He doesn't look like he necessarily stands out from the rest of the group because all the other characters are also gray. But then when you take a look at the live stream, he seems much, much darker, than the purple looks more paler. So I'm kind of hoping for that, but either way, I'm fine with it because I love this style of Seeker. I don't mind the jet mode, even though it's got that clump mess at the bottom there. That is something from the original movie. And I do like the purple. I even like the cutout at the nose. I know some people don't, but I like that. Then taking a look at the robot mode, you know, that looks like Skywarp. He actually looks more like any of the generic Seekers, so you could place this as any other character if you want, you know, if you don't want him to be specifically Skywarp. But for the movie, I do believe that he wasn't exactly black and purple, so he does look like this. And I love this Seeker design so much. I've got the Starscream, I got the Thundercracker, I want to put Skywarp next to them. Yes, I also have Thrust, but for the original trio, it's always Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. So for me, I'm definitely into it. And I think that despite the fact that this is the least remolded toy that they've shown, it's also my most excited toy so far. Anyways, moving on, we also have Springer. Now, this one is the most controversial figure, and I understand why some people are hesitant about this, but I'm going to point out a couple of things. First of all, yes, it is going to take the Siege Springer design, I've got it right here, and it's going to rehash a whole bunch of stuff. And I don't necessarily mind because that Siege Springer, I like it, but there's a couple of things that I felt could have been improved, especially with the feet. It looks like the legs are mostly going to be the same as the Siege Springer, and I'm hoping that they re-engineer something or tighten up the feet at least. But it's mostly the torso and the top that they've changed. First of all, you can see that there's a couple of new panels on the sides. I didn't even realize this, to where the hips are supposed to go. And that's meant to cover up the sides a little better, so it looks more clean. That's pretty good. You can also see these little intake engine things that are placed just below the propellers. I almost said above. And then the propellers have changed out, so this is a new sort of gimmick thing to where you can flip one of the blades of the sword and it will be able to transform into the propeller. Now you can have it like this, or you can have them halfway and have the full-on propellers, you know, so they look even, and I'm probably going to do that, but yeah, I think that's a nice little gimmick and kind of reminds me of that Thrilling 30 version of Springer. The colors aren't exactly consistent because you can see that the green on the top there is different than the green on the sides, but I believe that's just a painted green and just how it's going to be. I like the yellow on the front and then the little fins on the side there. I think for the helicopter mode, you know, it's fine. It's Springer. It looks like Springer. And then for the car mode, you can see that the sword will be able to plug backwards and kind of make this kind of sleek little thing. You can take that off entirely, which I'm probably going to do. But you can see those little intakes that I talked about previously will be able to fold up. And, you know, the transformation for the rest of the toy seems to be pretty much the same that we would expect for the Springer. And then we take a look at the robot mode. So this will come with an additional hammer because the budget allowed them to do that. And then it will also come with an additional sword that is probably based on an episode of the cartoon. So they are kind of tying some things from the cartoon with the SS-86 line, which I don't necessarily mind because if these are meant to also replicate the characters that are canon to the show, why not include a couple of extra things that came from the show, as long as the characters, the focal point, is from the actual movie itself. Now, the shoulders seem to be different. The wheels are also on a different position. They're lower to the arms, so I don't know how much of the engineering budget is taking into account with that. Also, with the arm, there's a panel that opens up on the side, and they managed to put in the missile that was seen in the film, so you're able to deploy that. That's a pretty cool technique, or a pretty cool thing going on there. And he also comes with the giant missile that he's holding in the film. He comes with an Ultra Magnus Sal gun. He comes with that propeller sword. He comes with 2 of the guns that came with the Siege, Springer. So he comes with a lot of stuff. He's re-engineering a lot of the toy, a lot of the body. A lot of the components inside the torso is the exact same from the Siege Springer, but I'm noticing that there's a lot more going on inside the backpack, so I'm not sure if that folds out to bring in anything. Like I said, there was these panels that I spotted from the helicopter mode, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. So I understand, again, why people are hesitant about this. I think the head's different, the chest is different as well. It just seems like the same Springer with a couple of added bits, but if you missed out on the Springer, then that should be fine. And I don't mind the fact that it does come with a lot of stuff, but I feel like Leader Class as a price point is just kind of getting a little dull when everything is mostly going to be a Voyager with extra things. It doesn't feel like it really suits being a Voyager. I feel like we're kind of at a point where my phone's going to go off, and that we kind of just need an Ultra Class lineup like the original line. But anyways, moving on from there, we could take a look at the comic universe character. So this is going to be the 3rd comic universe character, and this is Straxus. So, Straxus is a character that we've had listed for quite a long time, and we heard that it was going to be a Galvatron remold, so I imagine that this was just locked away. The sheets for how to transform this, how to re-engineer Galvatron were put away, locked away into some sort of vault, and they finally brought it back. And I'm excited for this because I love the blue, I love the gray, I love the red. It's a lot more like how he appeared in the comic, but with the gray and the red, it looks more like a classic style toy. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know, Fortress Maximus or something. I love the cannon, the new gun. It kind of looks like a vacuum now, but I love the black striping on the side. That's very similar to what the Grimlock and the Shockwave also has. And I also like the fact that the axe can plug on top to form this kind of fin section. Taking a look at him in robot mode, and he kind of reminds me of, I know he's not the same figure, but he reminds me of the Overlord and the Sky Shadow from Titans Returns, just a big Decepticon character. And yeah, I like that battle axe. I love the colors. I love the head sculpt. That looks fantastic. The new chest is awesome. And he does have a lot of kibble on the back, but you could take that blaster weapon and plug it into the hand, so you don't have to keep that on the back. Yeah, I love the Galvatron. I love the mold. So seeing this, I'm totally on board with. Anyways, moving on, we also have some sneak peeks at what's coming out for the Legacy United. I believe this is Wave 4. So we've got the Core Class Galvatron, which we all knew about, so it's no surprise. But one thing that I'll say is that I kind of wish that the nose of the jet was purple instead of gray, because the original one is gray, or the original Megatron version is gray. I believe that for Galvatron, he's meant to have more purple on the sides, and I don't think he's supposed to have a yellow cockpit. I think it was red. I could be wrong about that, but there's not too many new colors being thrown into this. It's a lot of purple and yellow, but it's still a lot of gray, so I'm curious to see exactly how they'll continue it. It seems like the torso is going to be purple, though. Anyways, moving on, we also have another Rock Lord type Armorizer figure, and this one is going to be a Bouldercrash repaint. It's going to be in purple and gray. They didn't name the character. There's also a spot of red at the front there, but it might have a new head, but most of the figure is going to be a Bouldercrash repaint. Anyways, moving on, we also have a G1 Style Quake, which I was super excited, especially considering that it comes with both Target Masters, which might be reused from the Neil Nose. I guess we'll have to wait and see. However, I will point out that this figure does seem to be a remold of the Skullgrin figure. Now, to anyone upset about that, it seems like they're going to change the tank mode, because you can see that the legs have the treads at the front there, so I can imagine they could open up and then cover the entire tank on the sides there. but I guess we'll have to wait and see. It does seem like the torso and most of the arms are the exact same from that Skullgrim figure. So if you're not a fan of that, that's unfortunate, but I'm curious to see exactly what they do to rework it. Anyways, moving on, we also have Slipstream, which is another remold figure, and it's going to be a remold of the Windblade, which I'm totally fine with, because I kind of felt like we were going to get that anyways. I love the purple, I love the cyan, I love the guns on the side of the arms. I think that looks cool. The head sculpt looks pretty nice. Apparently this is based on the Cyberverse universe, but it's going to be a lot like Shadow Striker, where it's kind of vague on the Cyberverse universe. But I think it's okay because we don't really have a proper Generation Slipstream as of right now. We've got different versions of Slipstream, but nothing from Generations. There was that Prime repaint, and then there was a Cyberverse toy that was alright. But I'm totally fine with this, especially with the null race. I think that might be fun. And yeah, she looks pretty good. Anyways, moving on, we also have a Deluxe class Optimus Prime. This is going to be based on the G1 toy. Now, there was some misconception going on with this. They said something on the lines of, this is something that they've never done before, and someone took that as, oh, they've never done an Optimus Prime? Yes, they have. They've done multiple. No, they haven't done something to where it's this close to the G1 toy. We've got G1 toy decos, we've got similar things from the G1 toys, but nothing to this extreme as of recently because they based so many things on the cartoon, especially with the SS86 line. This is directly based on that G1 toy. I do not think it's going to be the same mold as the Missing Link Optimus Prime. I believe that this is going to be a new mold, so it might be a little more robust. It's going to be different compared to the G1 toy, but it's going to be very similar and very much based on it and on a better budget compared to the Missing Link Optimus Prime. So if you want something like that, but you don't mind some changes, you don't mind some more robust plastic, and you just want it for a better price, there you go. And it seems like his blaster is also G1 style, and he does come with the battle axe, so that's cool. No trailer, I'd imagine. Anyways, moving on, for Voyager class, we do have Metalhawk. This is a re-release slash kind of a rework. Apparently it's going to have some different paint apps to look closer to the toy, but probably not enough to where I'm going to be like, oh, I have to buy this now, because my previous Metalhawk, I don't need it anymore. No, I was fine with that. Anyways, moving on, we also have the animated universe, the Motormaster. If you know the actual comics, you know it's the Motormaster. And I'm thrilled about this. I love the fact that it's a BotCon. I think it's a BotCon reference. And just the fact that they're going that obscure, I love it. Now, he's not going to combine. A lot of people kept thinking that he's going to combine all of a sudden. No, the original toy never combined with anyone. This is just a reference to a BotCon original toy. Anyways, moving on, we also have the leader class Soundwave. So this is going to be exactly like the Netflix Soundwave, except the fact that it's probably not going to yellow. It is very likely not going to yellow. So anyone concerned about that, there you go. And I think that this is good on a number of reasons. First of all, Bumblebee and Soundwave were the top two characters from the Netflix series of Wave 2 stuff that people really wanted and had a hard time getting. So now you have another opportunity to get a Generations Bumblebee and Soundwave. So that's good. Second of all, the yellowing, like I said. And third of all, apparently he's going to come with 3 cassettes, not just 2. I thought he was just going to come with the Laserbeak and the Ravage, because with the Netflix Soundwave, that Laserbeak and Ravage also had some remolded parts to make it look more like the Earth style, especially Laserbeak with the new head. So I thought that was cool, but hearing that we're going to get a 3rd cassette, I'm kind of hoping that we're going to get Ratbat, although I heard that was coming with Perceptor, so I'm curious to see exactly what he's going to include. Some people are saying that with the Steeljaw, there was a black repaint, so maybe he'll come with that. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. What I am hoping for is he comes with Buzzsaw, because I know a lot of people, including myself, have wanted a Buzzsaw for such a long time. But I might have to pick this up because my Netflix Soundwave, it's yellowed. I tried fixing a lot of the silver with the chrome pen, but it's not working with the blue. So, I don't know. Anyways, moving on, we also have the Armada Galvatron. Now, we actually have seen Armada Galvatron before. It was on the back of the packaging for the Tidal Wave, so this isn't really anything new, but he does look very aggressive and menacing in the package art. And I love the red for the helmet, the purple and the grays. He looks very nice. So, with that out of the way, what do you guys think? Please comment below. Let me know. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. And I will see you guys next time.
AllSpark TV. Now that's just prime.